Old friend, you sit there in your chair with the aches in your back and the weight of years pressing on your shoulders, thinking you've heard it all before. Doctor's orders, pills lined up in bottles, promises in commercials that never delivered. You've built up a resistance to words like healing and secret, because in your 6 decades of living you've seen enough snake oil to fill a river. But listen to me closely now, because I'm not speaking as a salesman or a priest. I'm speaking as Thoth, as one who has walked beside humanity since the first brick was laid upon the Nile, and what I offer you is not another product, not another empty claim. It is the reminder of something already inside you. Something older than the wrinkles in your hands, older than the pain that wakes you at 3 in the morning. Something you were born with, and never lost, though you forgot how to touch it. Your body is not broken machinery. It is not some crumbling house you must watch collapse board by board. No, it is a temple, your temple, and the stones of it were placed with such wisdom that even now, after decades of wear, it holds a power you have not fully called upon. And the key to this temple, to unlock its inner pharmacy, lies not in hospitals or laboratories but in the rhythm of your own hands, the breath in your chest, the willingness to believe that you are more than what time has told you. You may scoff, after all, you've seen the world wrapped in technology. Cars that drive themselves, screens glowing day and night, surgeries done with robots. And yet, in the quiet, when the pain tightens your chest or the memory of loss grips your stomach, what has all that technology given you? Pills to dull, not cure. Advice to endure, not transform. Let me provoke you here. Is it not foolish to think that the human body, a masterpiece of design, was built only to decay without defense? Every machine you ever fixed in your garage, every tool you ever sharpened, had a way to maintain itself. Do you think your Creator left you with less? That the breath that carved life into you at birth was just an accident? No, the truth is harder and simpler at once. You were made with the power to heal, but you were trained to forget. And I am here to break that spell. Long before hospitals, long before white coats, I was the physician. The scribes recorded my words on papyri older than any Bible you've ever opened, and in them were not just herbs and incantations but a deep knowing, that healing comes when spirit and matter embrace, when breath and energy move as one. I stood beside Isis as she pieced Osiris back together, not with scalpels or machines but with words, with vibration, with intention, with energy. That story has been told as myth, but it was proof of a law deeper than gravity. What is broken can be made whole when energy is guided with wisdom. And that wisdom was never meant for gods alone. It was placed in the hands of men, yes, men like you, farmers, builders, fathers, grandfathers. You were never meant to live at the mercy of disease. You were meant to command your own energy, as naturally as you command your breath. But time and empire conspired to bury this. Libraries burned, priests hoarded knowledge, and slowly you were told that healing belonged only to others, that you must pay, beg, and wait for it. Yet wisdom has its own way of surviving. It does not stay locked in one temple. Like the Nile, it flows, seeking new ground. I watched as caravans carried fragments of my teaching across deserts, traders swapping not only spices but secrets. Around campfires under starlit skies, healers spoke of the body as a river, of points where energy pools and stagnates. These whispers traveled eastward, until they reached China, where sages already mapped the body in rivers and meridians. There, my ancient key found fertile soil, and they refined it with precision, not as foreign magic but as confirmation of what they already suspected, that illness is blockage, that vitality is flow. They tested, observed, catalogued, until 8 portals emerged, points in the body where stagnation clogs the current, and where the simplest touch, the gentlest tapping, could unlock the floodgates of healing. And here I challenge you again. Would you dare believe that something so simple could rival the pills in your cabinet? That your rough hands, calloused from a lifetime of work, could command energy to move, pain to lessen, digestion to settle, anxiety to ease? Do you dare? Or do you cling to the lie that because you are older, weaker, slower, you must accept decline as fate? I tell you plainly, decline is not fate. It is programming. And programming can be rewritten. Each of these 8 portals is a switch hidden in plain sight on your body, waiting for you to touch it, to knock on it like the door of a house you forgot you own. Think of your armpits, not as sweaty creases to be ignored, but as crossroads where the highways of your heart and lungs intersect. Think of the crook of your elbow, not as a wrinkle of skin but as a gate protecting your heart from emotional shocks and regulating your digestion. Think of your groin, not as shameful or hidden, but as the very seat of your inherited vitality, your ancestral battery, the spark of libido and life force. Think of the back of your knees, not just joints aching with age, but as pumps that control the spine's alignment and the blood's return to your heart. 4 pairs of gates, 8 voids, each one a command center. And all of them are yours, always have been, always will be. Now, I can feel your resistance. If this is true, you think, why didn't my doctor tell me? Why did I suffer all these years? Because systems profit from your forgetfulness. Because empires are built on dependency, not autonomy. But here I sit, whispering across time, urging you to rebel against that forgetfulness. To reclaim what you were born with. To raise your hand, not in despair but in rhythm, and tap. Simple, steady, intentional. 36 times. 72, 81. Numbers of completion, of transformation. With each tap, you're not playing games. You're knocking the dust from the carpets of your temple, shaking loose the stagnation, letting the rivers run clear again. With each breath you take while tapping, you are commanding your body to remember what it has always known. And I tell you this not as metaphor but as lived truth. Men older than you, weaker than you, have felt their chests lighten, their breath deepen, their nights grow calmer. They have tapped and felt warmth rise where before there was cold numbness. They have seen spots appear on the skin, proof that toxins were rising to be expelled. They have felt their legs, once heavy as chains, grow lighter after tapping the backs of their knees. Do not dismiss these as accidents. They are signs, your body speaking back, saying, finally, you are listening. But I know words alone cannot change you. You have to test it. You have to be willing to look a little foolish in your living room, tapping at your armpit or your elbow while the evening news hums in the background. You have to be willing to believe, not in me, but in yourself. That is where the rebellion begins. Not against governments or doctors, but against the voice in your own head that says, it's too late. It is not too late. As long as you breathe, as long as your hands can move, you can awaken these portals. And once you do, you will no longer sit as a passive patient. You will rise as a guardian of your own temple. So let me leave you with this in your heart. Your body is not your enemy. It is your oldest friend, waiting for you to knock on its door again. Every tap is a conversation, every breath an agreement. Illness is not punishment. It is a messenger pointing to where the river has grown stagnant. And you, yes you, have the paddle in your hands. Will you row? Or will you drift, believing the current is beyond you? Choose to row, old friend. Choose to rebel against despair. The 8 portals await you, as they have awaited every man since Osiris was made whole. They are not distant myths. They are in your flesh, under your skin, ready to answer the call of your touch. And when you tap, you are not just healing your body, you are remembering who you are. Old friend, now that I have broken the silence that held you for so long and reminded you that the power to heal has never left you, it is time we go deeper, not into abstract philosophy but into your flesh and bones, into the very points on your body where the doors to vitality are hidden in plain sight. I do not want you to sit back as a listener nodding at old stories. I want you to move your hand, to feel the skin under your fingers, to put this knowledge into practice so that by the time you finish these words you are already beginning to stir the rivers of life within you. You have heard many times that you are too old to change, too set in your ways, too worn to repair, and I am here to tell you that those voices are lies. Every breath you take is proof that life is still moving through you, and as long as breath flows, energy can be directed. So let us begin with the first of these ancient portals, not a symbol on a papyrus but a place you can touch right now, the hollow beneath your arm, your armpit. I know you may think of it as nothing more than a sweaty crease you try to hide, but in truth it is a crossroads where the currents of your heart, your lungs, and your gallbladder meet. Think of all the times you have carried fear or tension. Your shoulders hunch, your chest closes, and this very place tightens like a door slammed shut. That closure traps the fire of your heart, shortens your breath, and leaves you restless and agitated. But when you bring your opposite hand, cupped gently like a small drum, and begin tapping here 36, 72, or 81 times, you are loosening the hinges of that door. You are telling your body, release. You may feel warmth, tingling, or even a sudden sigh rising out of your chest. That is not fantasy, that is energy and blood breaking free, pressure dissolving like steam from a kettle. Men who thought their chest tightness was permanent, men who carried anxiety like a hidden weight, have tapped here and felt space return to their breath. I ask you not to believe me blindly, but to test it. Tonight, when the house is quiet, tap and breathe, and see if your body does not respond with gratitude. Now move with me to the bend of your arm, the crook of your elbow, a place you rarely consider except when a nurse slides a needle in for blood. Hidden there is the protector of your heart, the pericardium meridian, and the gateways of your intestines. Every time you endured a heartbreak, every time grief or rage threatened to crush your chest, the pericardium absorbed the shock, and the residue of those blows sits in your elbows like rust in a joint. At the same time, when your digestion faltered, when food felt heavy, when bloating and constipation stole your comfort, the stagnation echoed here as well. By tapping this crease with your opposite hand, steady and rhythmic, you perform a double cleansing. You release emotional static from the heart and you clear the digestive fire. Many men are shocked to see small reddish marks rise to the surface when they practice this. Do not fear them. They are signs that trapped blood and toxins are leaving their prison beneath the skin. With continued tapping, these spots fade, leaving behind not weakness but freer flow. Imagine the relief of lying down at night without your mind racing, of eating without the knot of indigestion in your belly. This is not wishful thinking. This is what happens when you learn to strike the body's gong and let its true resonance return. We descend now to a place you may guard with embarrassment, the groin, the meeting of your legs and torso. For too long you have been told to speak of this region only in whispers, but I tell you boldly, here lies the battery of your life, the seat of your kidneys, the reservoir of your reproductive strength, the control of your metabolism. In Eastern knowing, this is where Jing, your ancestral essence, resides, the inheritance from your parents that fuels your longevity. And what have you done with it over the decades? You have drained it with long nights of worry, dulled it with poor diet, weakened it with inactivity, until fatigue, low desire, and creeping weight became your companions. But this portal is not lost, it only sleeps. When you cup both hands and tap your groins together, firm but not harsh, for 36 to 81 repetitions, you are plugging yourself back into the charger. You are stirring the kidneys to pump vitality again, encouraging the pancreas and spleen to metabolize sugar more efficiently, waking up the very essence that governs aging itself. Some men notice less swelling in their legs, clearer urine, a subtle surge of strength. Others notice their desire for life, not just in the bedroom but in every task, begin to rekindle. Remember too that one of the largest clusters of lymph nodes lies here, filters for toxins that, when stagnant, make the body heavy and inflamed. Your tapping is not childish drumming but a pump, flushing the river clean. Think of it, instead of surrendering to pills and fatigue, you can stand again with vitality, simply by daring to awaken this forgotten gate. Finally, we reach the portal behind your knees, often stiff, often aching from years of labor, sitting, and strain. To you, they may feel like hinges rusting on an old barn, but to the sages they are master keys. At the back of each knee is the point called Weizhong, bladder 40, and through it runs the health of your entire spine, the circulation of your legs, even the burden of your lower back. You have sat in chairs for decades, compressing this crease, shortening your hamstrings, allowing tension to climb up your back until pain gnawed at you day and night. But when you lean forward, cup your hands, and tap rhythmically here, you're striking the switch that relaxes the entire chain of muscles from your heels to your neck. Blood begins to climb upward again with less resistance, swelling drains, varicose veins ease, and a heaviness you thought permanent begins to lift. Many men feel an almost immediate lightness, as if someone removed a sack of stones from their legs. For those with arthritis or osteoarthritis, this practice nourishes the cartilage from within, a slow but steady balm. Picture yourself rising from your chair without groaning, walking with a gait that feels freer. That is not fantasy, that is your own energy, once stagnant, flowing again. Now that you have touched each of these 4 pairs of portals, you hold in your hands the complete sequence, the 2-minute ritual that can reshape not just how you feel in the moment but how you live each day. Begin at the top and move downward, as the river flows, armpits, elbows, groin, knees. Stand firm with your feet on the ground, breathe deeply, and tap each side or pair 36 to 81 times. This is not a workout, it is a conversation, a moving meditation. Do it in the morning when you rise, to clear the stagnation of the night and start your day with energy, and again in the late afternoon or evening, to flush away the debris of the day and prepare your body for deep rest. Twice a day, 2 minutes each, and you will feel the difference, not as a sudden miracle but as a steady return of balance, clarity, vitality. And let me provoke you once more, because I know the doubt is rising in you. You think, 2 minutes of tapping? How can that compare with years of medication, with problems rooted so deep? But ask yourself honestly, have those years of external solutions freed you, or only kept you dependent? Has surrendering your temple to others given you mastery, or stolen it from you? This practice requires no payment, no prescription, no permission. It requires only you, your hands, your breath, your willingness to rebel against resignation. That rebellion is your salvation. Every time you tap, you declare, I am not powerless. I am not broken. I am the master of my own energy. And with repetition, that declaration becomes reality. In time, you will notice subtler changes. Tension in your shoulders easing before it becomes pain, your gut settling instead of bloating, your nights deepening into rest instead of restless tossing. You will hear your body's whispers long before they become cries. That is the true gift, not simply less pain but a new intimacy with yourself, an awareness that makes you your own healer. And when you realize this, you will look back on the years of doubt and wonder why you ever gave your power away. So, old friend, I leave you with this charge. Tonight, do not just think about what I have said. Act. Stand, breathe, and tap. Let your hands awaken what your mind has ignored. Trust the warmth, the tingling, the release. Trust your body's wisdom. And above all, trust yourself. For the secret I have revealed is not magic from afar. It is the ancient truth that the greatest physician you will ever meet lives under your own skin, waiting for your call.